Hello, everyone. This is Pia for Metal and High Heels, and I am sitting here in my um, living room, and I have an interview with Anna from And My Guard via Skype. Hi, Anna.
Hello, thanks for having me. I'm also in my living room, so that's already the same with us.
Great. You will play a concert in Poland tomorrow, and you already played some shows in October and November. Is that right?
Oh yes, we just released our third album
Mhm.
in October, and there's a little tour going on around the release. And we were playing in the Netherlands. That was our huge record release show, and it was just awesome. We always enjoy playing in the Netherlands, so those gigs were great. Of course, we had a record release show here in Hungary, in Budapest, because we are a Budapest based band. And tomorrow we're going to Poland and then to Czech Republic. So it's going to be exciting and a little cold. We are so afraid because it's already winter time, and thumbs up for the bands who are touring, especially in the winter time, because it's very risky to be on time at the
Mhm.
venue. So hopefully everything's going to be all right.
Yeah, hopefully. We had the first snow yesterday.
Oh,
But it
it,
wasn't cold enough so that it could stay. It's already gone.
yes, yes, yes.
How did people react to your new album? It's called Moira, and it was released by the end of October, I think.
It was released on the 11th of October, if
Okay.
I'm not mistaken. It was released by a Dutch independent label, and they're called Painted Base. And we are experiencing such a great media like presence around the album. So I just cannot believe it. It's so fantastic. So the reviews are still coming and coming, and they're great. We are so satisfied. So we are so happy. Exciting times for us.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
You also played the female metal event this year, and you already played there last year, but I think in 2017 it was an acoustic show.
hmm yes, back in 2017, it was an acoustic show. It is great. And after that, not a long time later, we were invited to this year's edition. And because our label is based in the Netherlands, therefore we had a record release show, like in a power set, like on Thursday, Thursday I think, and on Sunday we were coming back from Amsterdam for another gig, and it was also a semi-acoustic like gig, but we enjoyed both. I was at the beginning. I was afraid of playing an acoustic show because our music is so heavy, so like intense. But as we did this back in last year, we were like, okay, that's all fine. That's another thing, and to play in a power set, it's another. But we enjoyed both, so that's cool.
Yeah, I enjoy the the non-acoustic shows, as I already told you. But many
Yeah.
people said that the gig in 2017 was great. So
Yeah. Oh, yes, 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 yes. It was a beautiful day. I still remember. It was awesome.
yeah, the
Awesome.
venue was really cool. The
Oh
club
yes, it
where you
was.
played.
Yeah, yeah. Blue Collar Theater was great. It was fully packed with people. It was our first sold out show ever,
Hmm.
and it was happening in the Netherlands. So beautiful, beautiful experience.
Let's talk about the new album Moira.
hmm
Mm, you released a video for the song Echoes,
hmm
um, and the video has a very beautiful setting. Where did you do the video shot?
Oh. Have you ever been to Platense, Balaton?
No, I heard a
No.
lot of that, but I've never been there.
Yes, they were shooting by Lake Balaton, Plattensee,
Mm-hmm.
because the song is about a very old Hungarian fairy tale, and it's about the echo of Tihany.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a beautiful yet very sad tale. So, of course, where else could we shoot the video but there? It was so funny because we were going to a beach, down to a beach, and everybody was just having a great time in bikinis and swimsuits and stuff like that. And we arrived with
With the
black
makeup.
makeup, yes, black makeup. I was wearing a beautiful blue skirt dress, so everybody was like, "Oh, what the hell is going on there? Who are these people?" But it was nice. We really did enjoy shooting that music video. So yes, that's our first music video, and we are already working on another one, which is gonna be a tour diary kind of video.
Okay, for which song?
Ah.
Can you already tell us?
We haven't decided it yet, but I think it's gonna be for The Day I Die.
Okay.
The song entitled The Day I Die, which is kindly ironic, but it's the happiest song I've ever written. Yes. So yeah,
Yeah, I think it's the most poppy song on the album.
yes, it's poppy, but still the lyrics have some kind of darker or deeper background meaning and stuff like that. I like to use metaphors when I write my lyrics, so therefore there are so many visuals and symbols and the things I like in nature. They all appear in the lyrics. So yeah.
And in the song Echoes, there is a part where you sing in Hungarian. Do you sing
Yes.
Hungarian? I think it's
Yes,
Hungarian.
Yes, Hungarian, exactly. You're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you decide which language you choose for your lyrics?
From the beginning, why I chose English or for this particular song?
For this song or in general too?
Yes, as I mentioned, it's about Hungarian fairy tale, and I like to put words in my native language too, mother language too. And on the previous album, on Urania, I was also singing a small part in Hungarian. So it's a very special thing for me. I think when I started to write my songs, I started to write them in English, of course, because I believe that English is the language for rock music, right? And but I really like my language. I think Hungarian sounds so cool. When we were playing in the Netherlands, everybody came to us like, are you gonna release a Hungarian record too, folk kind of a thing? And I was like, maybe, but that's not the main goal for us. But I really like Hungarian, singing in Hungarian. So that therefore, because of this topic, of course, therefore it was so like natural to sing in my language, just a small part.
Mm. Um, do you also use it for more personal lyrics? Because I know it from myself, when I sing in German, it feels kind of weird because it feels closer to myself. If I use English language, I can hide behind a different language somehow.
Well, it's an interesting point. I haven't thought about it yet, but maybe like unconsciously, of course, because that's my number one language. But because when I was a little child, I went to song contests and singing. I was singing Hungarian folk songs, and therefore it was like I really like Hungarian folk music too, and that's the reason why I put them into our songs. But unconsciously, who knows? Yes, maybe. Thanks.
You already mentioned the previous album, Orania,
Hmm.
and Moira feels a bit like the dark twin.
Oh, you got the point. You got the point. Yes, yes. It's why Urania was taking to the listeners to an upper level, like elevating and swimming in the starry skies. I was singing about universal themes, regardless of people, gender, whatever.
Mm.
Whereas Moira was dragging down, like pushing down the listener, and it's a harder topic. Like as I mentioned, I like to use metaphors, and I do a lot of research, especially in the Greek mythology, Greek, Celtic, Hungarian, whatever, but mainly Greek. And Moira, uh, I don't know if I mentioned, but they are the goddess, the Moirai. They are the goddesses of fate in Greek mythology.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they symbolize the underworld. So the whole concept of the album derives from them, and this is our journey through the underworld, of course, in a metaphorical sense.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to face your fears, and you have to go through your struggles to get up again to the surface. So that's what I wanted to represent in the
Ah,
darkest sister of Urania. So yes,
mm. So I was right with
yes,
that feeling.
yes. Thank you.
Yeah, cool. It reminded me of Batman, what you just said, because um, the
Hmm.
quote is, I don't know if I can say it correctly in English, the night is darkest before dawn or before sunset. No, before dawn,
Oh,
I think.
oh, yes, yes,
Yeah.
Don.
So you have to go
Beautiful.
through the dark to see
Yeah,
the light
yeah,
again.
yeah. Yes, beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, you already said that the Moira is the goddess of fate.
Hmm.
Um, what do you think about fate? Is fate something bad, or is it just something that the goddesses want you to experience or to live?
Oh, we're going to a spiritual kind of conversation.
Yeah.
That's cool. I think all people have a special purpose on this planet,
Hmm.
and of course, if you want to reach something which takes you higher, 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 higher here, especially, which makes you a better person and a wiser person,
Hmm.
you have to face obstacles, and yes, that would be one interpretation, that you have to go through these obstacles and just fight your demons and go to the next one and fight your demons. So yeah, uh, yes, it's not an easy world. It has never been for people who want to reach something, and especially for artists.
Mm.
But yes, you have to keep fighting. That's my advice, and you have to, like, you have to have a loud voice, and you have to create something special, which probably, like, it's not 100% sure that it will reach that amount of people that you would like it to reach, but you have to be honest, your artists have to be honest, and you have to be honest with yourself, and just to create a unique something in this lifetime. So that's my purpose, I think. And of course, I am facing a lot of obstacles, like almost every day. It's so hard for the independent artists, but I keep fighting.
Yeah, I can imagine. And I think that's also what your band was going through from the beginning, because it's written everywhere that the beginning was very hard for your band. So maybe you can explain that or tell us about your journey as a band.
um, it was a one-person project at the
Hmm.
beginning. I was raised in a very small town called Békéscsaba, in the eastern part of Hungary, and I was studying classical music. But of course, I met rock music. I met the great rock artists, and I became so obsessed with rock music. So I started to play bass guitar, and I started to write my songs. When I moved to Budapest because of university, I had to find musicians who would, of course, play with me at the gigs.
Mm.
But I was so immature. Sorry for the mispronunciation. I was so young, from like early 20s, late teenage years. So until 2011, 12, it was so like, and my guard was like, yeah, young girls something. But when we released our first EP and we came out with our first music video, that was the point when I was starting to think about what if I would take my guard to international level. I want to have a foreign music record label, and then I found the Norwegian Smash Fabric Records, and they signed us. And I was like, back in 2012, for a Hungarian artist to be signed by a Norwegian label, I was thinking, yes, I made it. Everything's gonna be so easy. I finally have a management and stuff like that, but no. No, because then I was thinking about I have to tour abroad. So I
Mm.
have to take the boys abroad and to be brave enough and without any help, because I wasn't signed by a booking agent, or I wasn't working with any promoter by the time. So I started to contact the clubs and promoters, agents. It took almost 2 years for me. It was an everyday work to sit down and to start to manage my band and start to build up relationships in the business. I'm talking about Europe, of course.
Mm.
Uh, so yes, and of course, I was writing more and more and more songs, and we came out with our first album, Innocence Descent, and we were signed by a small English label, and they helped us to find contacts in the UK, and I found contacts in Spain and Italy. So in 2015, we were able to do our first European tour.
Mm.
And
A
we had
long
to be
way.
very, yes, and we had to be really, really, really brave, and I don't regret it. I don't regret it. But for the first tour, it was like, whoo. But we enjoyed every single gig. It was so rock and roll back then. Sleeping on the stage where you were playing.
Wow.
Yes, we asked the venue owner, like, where's our accommodation? It was, I think, in London. And he told us, you have accommodation there. And he was pointing to the stage where we were playing
Mm.
a few hours earlier. So, yes, we
Did
made
you have a
our
dressing room?
tiny. No, no dressing room, nothing.
So you had to get ready for the gig on the toilet, on the public toilet.
Oh, yes,
Mm.
yes, of course. Yes, of course. But so, yeah, and it's still a very heavy journey. Uh, of course, I have relationships finally in the business, but basically, I'm still managing the band. I'm praying for a manager, a very reliable manager who would help me, because uh, it's so complicated not to write only the music. So I have to call the promoters and the owners, like, everything's gonna be all right with our accommodation, and it takes time. It takes so much time, and I think by this point, I have to have concentrate on the only the artistic part, not
Mm.
the management part. But that's my fate. That's my fate to be the manager of for this lifetime.
Yeah.
Uh, yes.
Um, I have a question about the former album about Orania, because I saw that it is fully uploaded on YouTube, and I think it's even on your channel, on your own band channel.
Mm-hmm.
Why that?
We had a green light. We got a green light from our label. It is a German label, Rock and Roll Records, and Axel, the owner of the label, told us like, why not to upload the full album? It is his tactic, so I just said I agreed, of course. And I also I'm always thinking about uploading Moira in a full video too, but the industry has been changing so quick. So one day it's only good to be on Spotify, the other day upload the album fully to every platform, and the other day that no, you listeners have to pay to listen to your music. So I don't know.
Yeah, it
So
totally changed. That's so interesting because bands used to tour to promote the album so that people go and buy the album, and now you sell an album so that people come to your concerts.
yes. I think it's not a surprise that most bands like us, we sell our CDs, like physical CDs, on our gigs. So of course you can order yours from us and from our label, but we sell most of our albums at our gigs. So which is cool. I really like that. Like people come to me after the shows and we have a chance to talk like face to face, and I'm able to say thank you for coming and for supporting. So that's a thing I really like. Yeah.
Yeah, and people want their CDs signed
Oh,
by
of
the band.
course, of
Yeah.
course, of course, of course.
um, why did you choose the bass as your main or second instrument? I don't know, a second instrument maybe? Or did you
Uh,
start playing bass?
No, when I was studying classical music, I was playing on flute. So I was a flute. I'm still a flutist. Who
You also
chose?
play the flute on one of your albums, right?
Yes, I play on flute and several songs. The reason why I'm not playing on flute like all of my gigs, because I sing, and
Yeah.
obviously it's it doesn't have a solution to do the two things at the same time. But bass guitar is my true love. My father gave me my first bass guitar when I started to listen to rock music, and he really liked good rock music, good heavy metal music. He was such a big Black Sabbath fan, and one day I came home and there was my first bass guitar standing in front of my bed, and from the first time I'm so obsessed with this instrument. I think it's the mother of all instruments. Like the bass guitar has to be stable. It has to be like very stable. The instrument on which other instruments can rely on, and but it sounds so feminine. So it's my interpretation. Sorry.
I think
Yes.
it's cool when women play the bass guitar because
Yeah.
it is bam, it is such an impressive sound,
Yeah.
and especially when the women are small and tiny, so to speak,
Yes.
it's a good combination, I think.
Yes. Suzy Quattro and my biggest role model, Melissa of Demauer. She was playing in Hole, Smashing Pumpkins, and uh, she did a very great solo career. So she was my number one influence
Mm.
in connection with how to play on stage, how to like act with your instrument, and how to be super feminine. Whereas you are playing so loud and you're so aggressive. So this duality kind of thing. So I'm so thankful for her, Melissa Aftermore. So yeah, and when I first no when I went to Prague to see one of her concerts, she came on to the stage and she was so little. Like I couldn't believe it. And the huge Fender Precision bass guitar was so big, but she was so cool. Oh my god. I'm pretty tall actually.
Okay.
So I'm not a tiny bass player.
How does the live show of your band look like? Do you also play bass solos?
Sometimes interludes, but it is merely an improvisation, so it's not planned. But in the future, I would like to play something by myself. Yeah.
Okay. I also want to talk about the scene, the metal scene, or Hungary or Budapest in general. So,
It's
first
better.
question:
Yes.
how's the
Yeah.
metal scene in Hungary?
It's better than it used to be a few years ago. I don't want to sound like so pessimistic, but yes, but it's improving. A lot of great bands, a lot of unique bands are appearing on the scene. And the thing is that I'm really happy about is these bands because we're such a small country and the rock metal scene is so small. Like most of us, we know each other like in person. So the greatest thing is I see a very supportive scene when it comes to the metal scene and to know the other bands. So we are kind of very supportive with each other because we are the youngest generation of Hungary's rock and metal scene, and we feel this connection. But yes, 10 years ago, I wouldn't allow you to ask me this question because I would like no, it's tragic. But by now, it's all fine. It's getting better and better, hopefully, and finally.
Okay. And we talk about this topic a lot. We ask many bands, especially from different countries, about sexism and equality in their country. How's the situation in Hungary? Are men and women kind of equal, or is it still a long way to go?
I was writing my master's degree thesis about female empowerment in the 90s, rock scene, grunge, and so I'm kind of an expert in this topic. But when it comes to my music, I always say that when I sit down with a manager or with a promoter or whoever I want to have a business relationship with, I don't sit down there as a woman, but as an artist. So that's my philosophy. And when I get negative comments and sometimes sexist comments during our gigs, I'm like I just don't want to care about it. I keep going and I try to inspire as many women as I can, but I'm not like start to fight. Like that's not my philosophy. But of course, these things are still happening, unfortunately. But but I try to not think about it, but just keep going and going and just presenting who I am. That's my philosophy. I like I know a lot of great all-female bands in Budapest. The scene, the I don't know because earlier it was called the Riot Girl scene in America and the States, but for now I don't know what it's called. Like on Facebook, there are still Riot Girls teams, but I don't know how to call this scene. But a lot of great bands are coming to the surface, all female bands, and they have this clear message against sexism and stuff like that. But I'm somewhere in between,
Mm.
and I am that person who, like as I said, I don't consider myself as a woman in the scene, but as an artist first. And when somebody comes to me and doesn't respect this, then I'm like, what should I do with this person? Like,
You can
no,
just
no,
ignore
and
and go away.
just
Yeah.
leave, yeah, and then just
Yeah.
so yeah.
Okay. And how is it in Hungary in general?
Like collectively in Hungary.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to go into the governmental stuff, but well, it's so complicated because things are improving. Things are trying to be improved by the government, but it's
It's a long
I
way
don't
to
know.
go.
It's a long way to go, I think,
Mm.
but there are a lot of great female artists in Hungary, actresses, producers, um, uh, um, musicians, of course, philosophers, journalists. So I think they when they raise their voice, they can achieve great things. So I
Yeah.
believe in them. Yeah.
Go for it.
Yes, yes, yes.
Mm, a question that combines music and the topic of feminism a bit. When I read your song titles and also some of the lyrics, it reminded me of witches a lot. Like I think Hecate is a witch. I'm not so good in Greek
Mm-hmm.
mythology and this
Yeah.
stuff, but that's something that popped up in my mind very often. And also the Moira, they are not witches, but you could interpret them like that, maybe.
Yes.
Um, do you inform yourself about this topic too, or is it just a side fact that there are
No, no,
some
no.
witches?
I've been always interested in mythology, religion, spirituality since my childhood. So what the things I'm singing about, it's so honest from me. So I did a research. I know what I'm singing about, and I know who I'm singing about, and I
Mhm.
sing about them in full respect, with full respect. So yes, I've been always interested in spiritualism and occultism, but I think these sometimes they are considered still in 2018 evil. Like there's good and evil,
Yeah.
and it has nothing to do with the morality that people should own. Like it's the system which tells us like it's good or evil, which gives you more, like gives and improves you to be a better and a well-educated person. Like why not? And for me it's like mythology, um, um, ancient arts and spiritual and stuff like that. So yes, and Hecate is the goddess of the underworld too, and she's the goddess of witches. She's the goddess of the dark moon. So yes.
And do especially witches inspire you too?
Uh, yeah, yeah, of course. I think there's a witch in every woman, but you have to know how to like let her out. And for me, it's 100% rock music and metal music, so I
Yeah.
can impress her, this witch in me through music.
Mm.
But yes, I really recommend for the women to just refocus on their inner selves, their inner goddess and stuff like that. Just meditate and just keep calm and just you know you because there's inside you. She's inside you, and you have to refine this special connection with her, and she can give you much more in this life, and
Mm.
she can give you strength and power and very a lot of creative vibes.
Yeah.
So in a nutshell, but I can talk about it. I could talk about it like whole night. Sit down with a glass of red wine, light candles and incense, and we can talk.
Yeah, I can imagine. We should do that when you to somewhere near me, so I can come to your
Oh,
concert. We could do that
yes,
the whole night.
yes, yes, yes. And that's the thing. Sorry, to for me, I really like to know new people, and especially women in art. I I and it's so hard, like in everyday life, just go to job, get home, and do my stuff. But when I find a woman or man, whatever, an artist, a creator who inspires me, he or she could give me so much. So I'm always looking forward to meet these kind of new people, and that's what I like about touring, because I get to know many great artists. So yes, yes, it's a really important thing for me to sit down and talk about these topics, because yeah,
Yeah, meeting people is always interesting.
yes, yes,
And exchanging ideas and philosophies and stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Oh,
That was it with my questions. But if you want to say anything to your fans, that's the moment to do that now.
oh. Well, the touring is over for 2018, but stay tuned, because we're coming back maybe to your country next springtime. I started to work on a bigger tour, which will be starting in April. And we really want to go back to Germany, to the Netherlands, maybe to another countries, who knows. So I have to keep working on it. So I try to do my best to get to you next year too.
Yeah, cool. Let me know so I can spread the news through
Oh,
our
thank you so
magazine.
much. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for watching this video. Bye bye.